Fourth Landwalker, and this is Star Trek Online. Last week, we wrapped up the Gamma Quadrant arc for my Jem'Hadar character, and decided that instead of doing the rest of the episodes as flashback, I was going to do a new character, brand new, that could do the episodes theoretically as they happen. So, making use of the handy-dandy die roller that the Wizards of the Coast folks have up for D&D that they never took down, I randomly chose the faction of the Romulans and came up with the species Alien instead of, the obvious of Romulans or Remans or liberated Borg Romulans or whatever. I came up with the straight Alien Gen character. So, we've come to bring out Tel-El. And we left Tel-El in a very bad place. As a Romulan, he started out on the colony world of Virinat, where all was nice, pleasant, peaceful community, making wine, occasionally dealing with really irritable workers, for lack of a better phrase. And, oh yeah, being at ground zero of an alien attack. The alien attack is ongoing, and that is where we will be picking up today. And there goes there goes two civilians right off the bat. It is a bad day to be a Romulan on Virinat. Let's see if Tovin can give us any insights as to what's going on here.
Come in! Are you alright? What's happening over there? Did you find Vorian?
Well, funny story behind that.
I'm at the shipyard with Devex, and we're prepping the shuttles for evacuation. I don't know what's going on here, but we need to get people out while we can. If you can get a rifle, you can fight your way out. Can you make it?
Sure. There's plenty of rifles lying around from, well, people like that.
It's the Tal Shiar. We need to call for help. I don't know who'll answer, but we have to do something. I tried to send a distress signal, but it damaged our transceiver array. We still have a chance, though. We need to deal with some of the Tal Shiar, and then get a replacement battery.
No pressure. Now, it looks like the rifle has equipped itself automatically, although I'm getting a tutorial thing about Quicken Whip, which is kind of funny because it's already done so. Oh, sounds like someone else got yanked away. So I'm going to swap my weapons out and get ready to do some good old-fashioned fighting back. Now, if the Tal Shiar are involved, it's going to be... Oh, yep, there it is, Ulan, one of the lower ranks of Tal Shiar. Oops, missed one. Let's get rid of him too. Now, Tel-El, for those who missed last week, oh, here's another one, is an engineering captain, or will be an engineering captain.
Coming. Get a battery from the marketplace. We need to send out a distress signal.
Batteries. But of course, that really doesn't matter too much right now because, well, let's face it, low level, no kits. Plasma weapons. Nice things about tutorials is you usually don't have to worry about too many things actually doing you any real harm. 9 times out of 10, you can probably do the mission blindfolded. I'm not going to do the mission blindfolded. That's just crazy talk. Oh. Cutscene. Yeah, Romulans are involved here, but clearly this isn't just a Romulan kind of thing. I mean, Romulans just don't have these kind of ships. They generally don't go kidnapping like that. Or maybe they do. It's hard to say. We are kind of early in the episode here, not to mention the entire story arc, so, you know, it's probably best not to presuppose. Now, let's get one of those batteries before I get shot at again. There we go.
This is Cap. Do you have the batteries? You just need to repair the device and send the signal.
Of course, the people who would be most likely to help in this case are unfortunately the people who are attacking us. I mean, I suppose we could, you know, rely upon the kindness of the Federation, but come on. Besides, they'd have to go deep into Romulan space. Well, former Romulan space, since, you know, the Romulan Empire's a mess. Right, all the bad guys are down here. I can plug this sucker in and send me a distress call. Hope somebody pays attention.
Strong. Get to the shipyard. We're getting out of here.
I approve. Shipyard has such a nice connotation to it. Must be that way. And there's our shipyard with one ship. Seriously, Tobin, this is the best we could do?
The shuttle is ready, and I got as many people aboard as will fit. We have to go.
And here are my rewards. XP, expertise, and to the joy or hatred of those picking it up, Tobin Kev himself as a bridge officer. This may become relevant later.
Congratulations, citizen.
Unfortunately, I cannot do anything with him right now, like, you know, change his appearance to make him, you know, more unique. I like to think that Tobin Kev is basically the same kind of name as John Smith is in English. And boy, they just keep dropping stuff down. What was that? Here in the background? Probably couldn't be good. But we're leaving, and I'm not entirely sure what we're going to accomplish.
This is Shuttle 5. We're taking heavy.
That's not a good sign.
Shuttle 10 coming in. We're jamming their sensors. When they get us, they'll think you were caught in their swamp.
Well, that's not good either.
They're not attacking. The Vex showed me how to fly his warbird. We're almost there.
And there it is, the pride and joy of Virinat. Now, if you watch Next Generation episodes, you realize this is old. And when I say old, I mean ancient. And when I say ancient, I mean,
Navigation
well,
is
you
online,
get the
but we
idea.
need some components to get our weapons and warp drive operational. We'll need both if we want to have any hope of fighting the Tal Shiar.
Okay, I want to do a quick movement of the singularity status here because I like to have it out of the way of the main screen here. And we're going to move the cloaking device up here for now. Eventually, when Talel gets to a level of being able to use quantum slipstream, in other words, no time soon, I'll revisit that location, but I'm not going to worry about that now. If you're new to the game, you can click on the review ship controls to figure out how to drive the ship around. But I already know how to drive the ship, so instead, I'm just going to put my power onto my engines. I don't think I really went into that when we were, let me scoot this a little bit over here. There we go. I didn't really get into that with the Jem'Hadar, but I might as well do that now. We've got a bunch of power settings here. We've got weapons power, shield power, impulse power, and auxiliary power. Now, there are also some presets: an attack preset, shield preset, an engines preset, which I'm using now, and a balanced preset. I usually go all weapons because damage is still king, but there have been occasions where I've switched to the other ones. My science officers tend to get the balanced ones more often. Also, if you want, you can change the configuration here a bit. It is set on 1, but 2, you get basically power bars, which you can adjust. Okay, this is where number 3 is where you do the adjusting of power bars, and you can save that configuration. And I presume it takes the place of something. I find that I don't really need to tune my stuff that carefully. And I'm not a big fan of the whole bar thing. At least not the vertical bar. I'm fine with the numerics, so that's what I usually stick with. At any rate, since my full impulse is kind of disabled right now, I am going to put myself on speed, so I don't have to linger until I get access to my impulse.
This'll do nicely. We just need a little more salvage.
Darned tutorial missions.
Weapons are online. Let's test them out on some of these derelict ships nearby. They're not shielded, so we can just use our torpedoes to finish them off.
Yeah, let's go pick on some defenseless, empty starships, as opposed to, you know, trying to bring them online or something. Then again, they're probably not online. Oh, yeah, that's another annoying thing that was done somewhere along the line.
We can use that to reinforce the hull. 3 more of these should get this hull good to go.
Somewhere along the line, they set it up so that when you first get a ship, it automatically puts everything on auto fire. Now, honestly, I absolutely loathe auto fire for my torpedoes. And the reason for that is torpedoes tend to do better against hull, whereas the energy weapons do well against shields. This is not to say that they're useless against the others, but that's where their strong point is. So I kind of like to have my torpedoes available to me to shoot when the shield goes down, as opposed to, you know, whenever it wants to. So that was a change they had made. I hate it, but what can you do? I'm gonna map that to my 1 key.
Ship is under attack.
And we're gonna see if I can. Ooh, there goes another one. That was such a tough shot too. Such a fierce opponent. Yes, I am wreaking sarcasm here, but seriously. But I will be fair. This is not my first rodeo. I know all about the game and all that. This probably helps the new players significantly. Okay. And really the only reason I did the tutorial is because, you know, of all the background behind the Romulan story arc.
Target's shields have failed.
Stop torpedo in that direction. And that takes care of one. Get the shield down here. Fire a torpedo. Didn't quite do the job, but close enough. And there's 3. Hasta Lambada.
All systems are go and full impulse is back online. I'm picking up a distress signal nearby. It must be people from the colony. More colonists managed to escape the surface.
Now, honestly, I could say let's stay here and practice a bit longer, make sure it's fully working, but we gotta save the colonists anyway, so...
The distress signal is close. Searching.
And there it is.
There! We have to help them.
And that's a freighter that actually looks like it's working. Not a derelict. So let's, good. Impulse is running now, so I want to change my power distribution to maximum weaponry.
Turn off full impulse. There's a Tal Shiar drone dead ahead.
Ooh, too slow, Tovin. I was already out of full impulse by the time you told me to. And the drone ship is completely unshielded. How careless. Unfortunately, he is just outside of the range of my weaponry. There we go. This ought to make their lives a little rough. Huh. Didn't kill it. Well, I guess the drone has a few bits more hull than the derelicts have. Get those colonists on board. I'm pretty sure that we can handle
I figured out how
numbers.
I can improve our torpedoes. Just give me the order, and I'll get started. Scanners are picking up more colonists in Tal Shiar nearby. We have to rescue our friends.
I know. That's one thing I kind of miss about the quote-unquote old Star Trek Online. Once upon a time, we had an extra measurement down here, which represented crew. Now, that really did nothing. It was supposed to be involved with how your ship repaired out of combat or in combat, and cruisers were supposed to be really good with that sort of thing, and escorts not so good. But that mechanic fell by the wayside. It was completely useless, and they eventually got rid of it. I really don't care so much about the fact that it was useless. It would have just been nice to know what the maximum crew on these ships were. All gone. You gotta guess. For all I know, I could have 10,000 people on this tiny ship, and I'd never know it. Let's go blow up more Tal Shiar. Now this time we've got a drone and a warbird. That's a little problematic. The good news is the drone still has no shields. The bad news is the warbird does. So, time to do the neat part of the Romulan plasma torpedoes. When you use the usual high-yield torpedoes, instead of firing multiples, it fires one big, heavy plasma torpedo. You can do that sort of thing with tri-cobalt torpedoes as well, I believe, if memory serves correctly.
Thank the elements. We thought we were done for.
Now, I'm not entirely certain about the other torpedoes. I know chronotons are multiple torpedoes. Obviously, quantum and photons are. I feel like I'm missing one, but it drives me mildly crazy. I'm sure I'll recognize it if it comes up again. The problem with being too close to a heavy plasma torpedo explosion is that it might ignite my ship as well. So, occupational hazards.
I think it's safe to say we're a fully operational ship. I'm getting an alert. There's another distress signal coming in from one of the colony's shuttles. We can do a short-range warp jump to get to them. Do you want to go now, or stay here to wipe out any other incoming drones?
Oh, wow,
no.
no.
We should coming in to do sweeps in the area.
We should stick around and blow up lots of drones while other colonists get killed off. Come on, Tobin. Figure it out. I'm beginning to see why I'm the one in charge and Tobin isn't.
There aren't any colonists here. Just this strange ship. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's gigantic. Engineering reports that the ship has scanned us, but they're not responding to my hails. What should we do?
That is really not a Romulan-looking design, is it? Let's go take a peek at them. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, besides a horrible, violent death.
Ship is under attack.
Yeah, like that. Oh,
We've done
awesome.
something to the
Static.
ship. Nothing is responding. I can't even warp us out of here. I think I might be able to get a comm channel up to hail them. What do you want me to do?
Well, it's more convenient to plead for mercy if we have communications open, so...
We're getting a reply. They seem to be rearranging our words and sending them back. Listen.
That was useful.
I'm picking up another ship. This one is Tal Shiar. It's decloaking.
I'm impressed that you can tell that from through all the static. Oh, there we go. Oh, now there's the Romulan ship I recognize. Unfortunately, it's a little more advanced than, you know, the piece of garbage we're flying. And there goes Big Boys.
So the Alachi were right. A handful of pitiful Romulan refugees managed to escape. When will you colonists learn that no matter how far you run, you cannot escape your obligations?
Colonel Haki. Doesn't he sound like a charmer? You just kind of want to beat the tar out of him right off the bat.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Colonel Hakiv of the Tal Shiar. On behalf of the Romulan Star Empire, I hereby lay claim to this colony and all of its inhabitants. Surrender now, and I will ensure that you serve us in the way you are most suited.
Oh, decisions, decisions. Am I the regretful type, or am I the go-down fighting type? To the death, boys and girls.
Fire weapons at will.
This is Tamara of the Romulan Republic.
To who? What? Where? Oh, weapons are back online. I should take advantage of that now. I don't know what this Romulan Republic is, but I've decided that I like it. Mainly because they're shooting Hakeem, not me. Now, there's a fun little weapon on board the Romulan ships that I'll explain later on, but this little button here takes advantage of the fact that the Romulans don't use the same level of power generation that Klingons or the Federation do.
My eye! So the insect has managed to sting me. You think you won? This is not the end. Even now, more of my ships are on their way. And the next time, you won't have anyone to protect you.
You know, his image would be a lot more impressive if the eyeball that he was screaming about had this big red gash or something on it. But I guess we have to keep that family-friendly rating for this MMO. I'm not entirely sure what its rating is as far as the computer game board thing does. I'm pretty sure it's not easy for everyone, though. Oh, decisions. Don't need anyone's protection. Don't cross my path again. Nah, don't give him any more fuel. Just go away. You bother me.
I am Tamara, commander of the Romulan Republic. We picked up your distress signal while on a mission in a nearby system. I would say we arrived just in time given your ship's condition. Who are you? And what happened here?
Well, funny story behind that.
I am truly sorry. This is not the first time I've heard a story like this, and I fear it will not be the last. And these Ilachi creatures, they are troubling. We need to know more about them and why they're working with a snake like Hakim.
Okay, so we have confirmation that we were being attacked by these Ilachi. Not the first time we've heard that name, since, you know, it was identified that the Vex, I think, had seen one of those probes before from the Ilachi and mentioned them in passing. So it's not, you know, completely out of the blue.
As I said, I'm with the Romulan Republic. You may have heard of us. We are not the terrorists the Tal Shiar make us out to be. With our leader, Datan, we are working to gather survivors of the destruction and fight the tyranny of the Tal Shiar. We have a flotilla nearby. If you're interested, we would welcome you and your friends to join us there.
You know, having just come from a peaceful colony, I don't necessarily think that I'm going to jump at the chance to, you know, join another war machine.
I understand your hesitation, but you must realize that there's no running from what's happening. You saw what the Tal Shiar did to your home. They're doing the same thing all across the sector. You either serve them or you die. The only way we're going to survive is if we fight back.
That is a kind of relevant argument. However, just for now.
I appreciate your willingness to do what's right. I'm transmitting the coordinates of our flotilla to your
not like I
ship
can say
now.
no.
When you arrive, we can repair your vessel and work out our next move. Thank you again. I'll make sure you won't regret your decision.
I really want an option that says I'm already regretting it, but instead we'll just go with very well.
I don't know how I feel about this, but I guess signing with Tamer is better than risking death on our own. And he did help us out with the Tal Shiar. The coordinates are loaded up whenever you're ready to go. I think the colonists we rescued are eager to get someplace safe.
Alright. Let's warp to this flotilla they're talking about. Poor old Virinat. 'Twas a nice place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ships. Oh, I guess that could be a
Greetings.
flotilla.
I am Sub-Commander Nadell, assistant to Commander Tamer. Please follow me to the commander's quarters. There is much to discuss. Commander, our guests have arrived.
Excellent. I'll get them up to speed. There is much to do.
I'll be glad to show one of you around while the other stays and talks with Tamer.
I'll take the tour, and then meet you back on the ship when you're ready.
Yeah. Tovin is definitely a follower, not a leader. Alrighty. Well, looks like it's you and me, Tamer. Let's talk.
Greetings. I hope all is going well with you.
Yeah, sure. I'm here to join. What the hell?
Good to see you and Tovankev made it to the flotilla.
They
of
really
the
need to
new Romulan
work on
Republic.
when to have the voice
To be brief,
modulation.
we are a group
when
that
not
was
to.
founded by Datan to combat the tyranny of Empress Sela and her Tal Shiar. Our goal is to unify the shattered Romulan people under a new democracy instead of Sela's tyrannical rule. There is much to do, however. I can answer any questions you may have.
Now, fun fact, Datan, if memory serves, which I am not sure it does, actually showed up on an episode of The Next Generation. He was a lot younger then, though. He was one of the kids who were following the Unificationists with Spock back in the day. What did Datan do to form the Republic?
Ha! What hasn't Datan done? He has quite the long history. The short version is that he desires to see the reunification of the Vulcans and the Romulans.
In the long
Before
version
that
can be
can
found
happen,
if you
though,
go onto
Datan
Memory
wants us to
Alpha
find a new
and read his
homeworld,
entry on the wiki.
reconcile with the Remans, and end the centuries of oppression beneath the Tal Shiar. We're Romulan, and after all that's happened, we still have our pride and our cultural heritage. We need to be able to approach the Vulcans as equals, not as refugees looking for charity. Did you want to know anything else? That's right. He dreams of a day when our two people are united. Well, 3, counting the Remans. Datan was inspired by
backhanded
Ambassador
compliment.
Spock, who first began the movement. When he was a child, Spock was working on Romulus with the reunificationists, and he was Datan's teacher. The Tal Shiar actively opposed reunification, and Spock and his people had to keep their movement hidden, working with allies and meeting in secret. It's been an uphill battle for Datan, but he won't stop until he sees the Vulcans, the Romulans, and the Remans reunited and at peace. Is there anything else?
Sir, what's your role?
I am the commander of this fleet. No actions happen without my approval.
Oh, he's in for some
Before
surprises
this,
in
I
the
worked
future.
in intelligence for the Romulan military, which allowed me to learn more about the Tal Shiar. I couldn't stomach the thought of working alongside of them. Ditan approached me one day and said he needed someone to organize a defense against the Tal Shiar. I accepted before he could finish his sentence. Is there anything else?
Nah, that's pretty much it. I have no more conversation options, so...
What's next is that you receive our uniform and get a tour of the flotilla. After that, you'll receive your first assignment. However, you must understand that by joining us, you mark yourself as an enemy to the Tal Shiar. Hakiv and his people will see you as a threat, and there isn't anything they won't do to stop you. Are you ready to accept that? Good.
Might as well.
You
Can't
should get
dance.
yourself down to Lieutenant Delatham. You can get a uniform from him if you want to change out of those civilian clothes. You can also have your ship modified. We can't get you into a more powerful vessel yet, but we can change the appearance of your ship if you want. When you're done, return to your ship. I should have your first assignment ready and sent to your ship by then.
I'm pretty sure that if I chose to at this point in time, I could very literally be flying a Scimitar-class ship right now, thanks to the way they redid the top-tier starships, where now you can fly these ships right away, but they're at a reduced effectiveness, an increase in effectiveness as you rank up until you get to the Vice Admiral level or thereabouts, at which point it's back to its normal capacity. Let's take a look at our rewards for having done all this or doing all this. I'm guessing having done all this. I'm going to get a bunch of XP, more expertise. I'll have access to the Romulan Republic uniforms. More on that momentarily. A free ship modification, which I'm pretty sure means nothing anymore. But I could be wrong. I could have sworn they took out the whole charge for altering your ship. Armor for my body, shields for my ship, and money.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Oh yeah, plus I become a actual ranked character now. No longer a mere civilian, but a lieutenant in the Romulan Republic's Navy. Yay me. So let's slide on down. The first step is to visit our local tailor and to not to put put a twist on it, change into something less comfortable. A uniform. We've got a commodities vendor in here. We have access to a whole bunch of stuff. Really, if we spent more time here, it would be easy to get fully equipped. Oh, it looks like an equipment vendor. Yes. But I don't really feel motivated enough to update that. So, you can see by the dummy on my left, as opposed to the dummy in the center of the screen, the general uniforms of the Romulan Republic. Oh good, everybody knows our story. Okay, time to customize the outfit. First things first, we will create the outfit. And I'm going to purchase this because I'm going to turn this one, the second one, into my civilian outfit. So that my first uniform is always the one that I will primarily be using as the uniform of the day. That way, when I log in, I will see the proper uniform. Now, we have a couple of pre-selected uniforms here. But since I like a little bit more control over my stuff, let's see what I can find. We have a number of uniforms that are made available, especially since, I am no longer a mere civilian. A number of the stuff I've bought over the years through the C store. I never did buy the Romulan outfits, however, for the appropriate eras. I just wasn't sufficiently motivated. And I could do this whole Kittimer uniform thing, but that's way in the future of this character, and it feels highly inappropriate to do that. And we're not going to talk about the Emancipator. That's a different story for another time. Strangely, I also have access to the Jem'Hadar tactical outfit. That's not going to happen. I can't do that. And Intel uniforms, which are usable by pretty much every faction except maybe the Jem'Hadar. And I can't prove that one. They might be able to use it. There's also the mercenary base uniform. But we are here for the Romulan Republic uniform. And incidentally, more uniforms will become available as we go along. We're going to go with Republic 2 here. Colors. Well, in keeping with the character's past, we're going to keep the tannish looking outfit for the jacket. We'll have, kind of a white fold out. Shoulder accents. Black doesn't really feel right. We'll go with a slightly darker tan. That way it looks appropriate, but distinct. Looks more reinforced that way. Gloves. Do I want to use gloves? Nah, I don't really want to use gloves. I'm not going to use a sash because, the civilian one is just awful clipping. Let's not go there. Wrist attachments. I'm not sure that I like any of them. We're going to go with no on the wrists. Arm attachments. I can either do pouches or I can do a Jem'Hadar tactical, which, again, none of those are really jumping out at me, so we're not going to go too fancy on that. How about chest gear? Yeah, we'll go without there too. Well, we've got a very plain looking outfit there. These things happen. How about our lower half? We'll go with the second uniform, stay in the general theme. We are going to change the color though, because while the blue jeans were appropriate for a civilian, those don't really look like they mesh as far as the uniform goes. So we're going to try to somewhat match with our other looks. Those pads, we're going to try to make them roughly the same color as we did with the shoulder pads. I say roughly because I don't think I'm going to be able to get them to that same color. I should have taken a more note. That looks like it's about right. And we're going to do the same thing for that because I'm relatively sure that the boots are going to change up. Yeah, con boots would be entertaining, but I think we'll skip that. Doesn't seem we have. Oh, here we are. Yeah, we'll stick with Romulan 2 for the boots. And we don't really need Dark Souls. We're going to try to make them pretty much similar to there we go. And we're going to save the outfit on the hilarious chance that maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to apply this to Tovin. Oh right, undershirt. We'll go with the high collar on this one. Color that more or less works well. Darker color may work out for this. Oh, the hazards of design. Okay, now we'll save the outfit. Then we're going to go to the load outfit and delete that one because I'll need it confusing me later. And purchase. Now, since I've gone through all this work to get Tellel's outfit put together, my first officer should probably have something similar. Now, the problem here is that when you're loading outfits, it doesn't always work out. Because between the captain outfit and the bridge officers, and then we're going from female to male, this is going to be... Yeah, that did not work at all. So, I'm going to have to more or less BS my way on this one. Apply to that character, and you know, I think I'll just go with that for the generic. I don't really feel like trying to fight this and try to figure out what I was doing before. And hey, being different from my bridge officers means that I'm more unique. That way, my opponents know exactly who to shoot at. Alright, I didn't think that one through. Too late now. Okay, so I am now in uniform and ready to rumble. My next goal is to speak to somebody to customize my ship. So why don't we do that? Actually, just for giggles, let's see if I can change my rank in my record here. Lieutenant. There we go. Now when people look at me, they will see that I am Lieutenant. I realize that that's not that big a deal, but darn it, it feels appropriate to me. Okay. Lieutenant Nala, or more accurately, customized ship person, because heaven forbid they put a name above this person. Ship tailor. Change the appearance of my ship. And we'll do a little customization on here. It's not going to be much. We're going to slap on a new paint job. Now, unfortunately, not all these paint jobs are usable because some of them apply to ships that I haven't purchased. Maybe Romulan Type 1, Romulan Type 2, Romulan Type Brown. We're not doing brown. And we can get rid of that decal from the underneath because I don't like to brag. And the advanced key here will allow me to put on patterns. Let's go with Aquila, mainly because I've kind of got a soft spot for that kind of name, thanks to another Starship-related game I've been fiddling with lately that had its own issues a while back. We will give it a blood red top, though. And we'll give it a blood red fin, too. And a back end, too, apparently. And a rim. Okay. Blood for revenge. There we go. I want to make them roughly the same red. I knew that wasn't quite right. Now, you're going to notice also that there is an option to 3D print this ship. If I recall correctly, this is involved with, submitting it to some third-party vendor to do the thing. I don't believe this is creating a file for you to do your own printing. So, we're going to leave it alone. I've never used it. I can't bring myself to go through that kind of abuse. Okay, apply the changes. Now, before we go speaking with Titan, I want to see if I can prove my theory here. Managed ships is not what I want. Ship vendor is what I want. Now, you will see that I could potentially grab a hold of any of these ships out here, although admittedly, any is kind of a wrong thing to say, because technically speaking, I don't have access to any of these because, well, some of these require fleet yards, and some of these require, owning the ships involved. The Arcala Tactical Warbird I could get. Although I don't know if I'd be able to use this. I don't know if it's a tier 6 one or not. Looks like a tier 6 has got enough consoles. And I noticed that I didn't see any of the scimitars listed on here, so maybe I can't get everything, but I apparently do have access to a number of possibilities. I don't have enough for a Tavaro Light Warbird. Of course, I might be able to claim them from the Zen store. Tier 1 to 4 reclaim. However, judging from the look of it, I have no access to claim any of it. To be fair, I'm pretty sure I never really purchased any of the, very many of the low-end. Actually, I don't think there ever was a low-end Romulan ship. Well, except for the, Tavaro. And these other guys, the Scorpion Fighter, the Casco Runabout, these are basically small vessels, the shuttles. And I am not motivated enough at this time to pick any of them up, especially since apparently I've never actually bought the Scorpion Fighter for Zen. So, and I'm still not that motivated. So we pretty much exhausted the possibilities there. We are going to be stuck in that old, new coat of paint warbird for now. Now let's go and have a chat with the leader of the Romulan Republic, Titan himself. I'm not sure if I actually caught a rank for him. I mean, the Romulan Empire had emperors, praetors, and proconsuls.
Hello again. Now that you're settling in, I wanted to speak with you about what our overall goals will be. First and foremost, we are looking for a new planet to call home. Tamer and his crew are handling that search. While the search continues, I am working on any possible alliances that we can make with the Federation and the Klingon Empire. We will need allies if we are to proceed. Your task will be the protection and recovery of other Romulans spread throughout this sector.
Alliances with the Federation or the Klingons. Boy, it's a good thing that the Romulans have a reputation for straight shooting and honest dealing with everybody. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Romulans don't have any of those things.
We're finding more by the day. Some have already joined us, but others do not believe in our cause. It will be up to you and your crew to protect these colonies from the Tal Shiar and to recruit anyone willing to assist us. Do you have any questions? If not, I would suggest you return to your ship. Tamer will have his orders ready for you.
Yeah, are you really so deluded about the Federation and Klingons?
I do not know. Our history of deception with both groups definitely does not help.
What'd I say?
The Tal Shiar, however, will not attack the fleet for now. Sela would see such a direct action as too great a risk. She much prefers to work in the shadows. Let me worry about our potential allies. While you're away, I will be working with diplomats from both sides to come to an agreement we can all live with.
Oh, plus, the nice thing about, being a flotilla is if trouble comes looking for you, you can warp out and not have to worry about, evacuating a planet or an outpost or anything. You're already on your outpost. Hey, it worked for Battlestar Galactica. Mostly.
Not yet. He and his crew have been assisting Romulan colonies throughout the region, and he has not been able to focus his efforts on the search. With you here, however, Tamer's mission to find a new homeworld can begin. He will be sending scout ships to analyze nearby planets. We'd prefer to find a suitable world in this sector, but we'll expand our search if we need to do so.
All right.
Sounds like we've got our orders. If you're ready, I can beam you back to the ship. However, before that, I need to ask a favor. I have a sister. Her name is Rena Kev. She and I were separated a long time ago. I want to try to find her. As we're doing our missions, could you try to ask about Rena? Thanks.
Sure, I can pester people. I mean, it's only a small galaxy. Okay, I'll narrow it down. It's only a small quadrant. Okay, it's only a small former empire. Yeah, that's insane. But hey, if it keeps him happy.
All set to go, I trust? Good. There is a lot to do. Your first target is already under attack by the Tal Shiar. There's no time to lose.
Oh, pressure, pressure. We are receiving experience points, expertise, plasma beams, and turrets, and a battery pack device, which will be useful if I want to, kick the weapon power up. It is a weapon battery pack, incidentally, from the looks of it.
Great.
Congratulations,
You have just
Lieutenant.
earned your first skill points. Click here to learn more.
Yay! And look at all the stuff that came in. Ship slots, Mugatu companions, titles, Greek train. More outfit slots. And, more importantly, skill points.
Skills will increase your effectiveness in both space combat and ground combat.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Select any skill to see a full description of the benefits gained by purchasing.
Right, I was meaning to hit the X on that. This will be a little simpler. Basically, we've got two sets of skills, space and ground. Space is basically divided into three categories: engineering, science, tactical. Although you'll find that you'll probably want to at least dabble in the other fields that aren't directly associated with your ship or your profession, simply because they're too useful to ignore. For example, anything that increases your energy weapons, that's good. Shield capacity is good. Hull capacity is good. Hull repair is good. Really, there's a lot of things that are good. You just have to start prioritizing. Since we are an engineering captain here, and I have no idea what kind of ship I'm going to eventually use, I'm going to more or less guess. We're going to take the expedient method of taking guns and projectiles to start. Now you'll see that as I did so, we have a progress bar coming up here, and we have, at regular intervals, stuff becomes available. Once I get another point put in, for example, I'll unlock the ability to train a bridge officer in something related to my profession. In this case, it would be Directed Energy Modulation 3. which admittedly is not a skill they're really able to fiddle with until, you know, we all rank up substantially. Oh, actually, I think I have it now. Oh. After using 2 abilities for the specialization. Didn't I just use 2 abilities? Maybe it's automatic. I don't have to, well, yeah, it's already highlighted. I'm slow sometimes. You'll see that we also have a point sometimes where we can choose between unique abilities. For example, if I were to get this far, which I will at some point, I guarantee, I could either pick up hangar weaponry, which would be pets from hangars for, you know, ships that have them, would do more damage, or I could have greater threat control. Whether or not, I'm not sure what I'd pick, but I'd probably go with the threat control because hangar weaponry is not likely. It's not impossible, but it's not likely. Decisions on that will be made later. Meanwhile, the ground tab. We have 4 possibilities of a much more limited number. But on the other hand, we get the ground abilities a lot slower than we get the space abilities. We've got the weapon proficiency tree, endurance training, which basically involves health and hit points, your shields, and your kit performance. That's why I think this one also deals with armor. Yes. Now, since I have no kit yet, I really don't have too much motivation to grab that with my skill point. Whereas I do have shields, I do have weapons, and I do have hit points. And I'm going to go with the hit points for now because, you know, more health is always good. Now, for each point that's spent, you will get one of these choices again. Right now, I've got 2 sets of engineering training I can go with. I can allow my people to learn how to make mine barriers, or I can give them the ability to, I can train them to use turret fabrication. I'm going to go with turret fabrication, even though I'm highly unlikely to ever use it. Because in order to train them, you need to make a training manual for them. And, well, not to put too fine a point on it. Training manual requires crafting stuff, and plus dilithium too. It's just not my highest motivation. Okay, while we're here, let's equip some of that stuff that we picked up from rewards. Got myself some armor. Got myself, screw that over a little bit so I can see it both ways. Got myself a weapon and a turret, which I cannot actually use yet. It's like 4 levels away. Why? Whatever. I'll replace my dual banks with the array because, you know, it's still better. Put on the better shields. And slap in my shield batteries and my weapon batteries. Just in case I need them. I am going to recycle the plasma and the shields because I'm never going to use them. And even though I'm pretty sure I don't get any energy credits for them, at least they're out of my inventory. Alright. And now they're congratulating me on my success. Yay, and so much for that. Okay, I think I am about as ready as I get for further orders.
Greetings. I have new orders for you. If we're going to have a chance at breaking away from Sela and the Tal Shiar, we need allies. There are a lot of little settlements like yours out there. We're in contact with some of them, but we're always reaching out to try to make new alliances. I've heard that a group of Romulans has taken up residence in a Suliban helix in the Beta Quadrant. I'd like you to visit them. Feel them out, help them if you can. But most of all, find out if they would be willing to join Detan in his search for a new homeworld.
Now, what do we have to look forward to? More experience points. And honestly, that's always good. Expertise. Dilithium ore. Always good. The Suliban Cell ship personal comm code. As you can see from the description, it will call a trade freighter, which will allow me to monkey with mail, banking, the exchange, and a store, wherever I am. In space, that is. That's a pretty handy thing to have, even though I rarely use that sort of thing. 9 times out of 10, I'm shoving things down the replicator. I get more profit out of it if I go through trade, the stores and all that. I should probably learn to do that more often. I get a Satra, which will be a bridge officer. No peeking, that's looking too far ahead. Advanced torpedo launcher for plasma. And an upgrade on my personal shields.
Greetings. I have new orders for you.
Yes, I'm getting ready to do them. Stop complaining. Okay, I'm going to make use of the plot course for starting location because I'm lazy. I don't feel like looking up. Oh, okay, I do feel like looking at the map to see how far I have to go. There's our flotilla. We zoom out. We are a sector and a half away from the Sulaban Helix system. Now, those familiar with the Star Trek Enterprise series will recognize the name Sulaban. These guys were major players. Well, let me rephrase that. A cable of these guys were major players in the temporal Cold War, which took place literally throughout time. But primarily, apparently, through the Enterprise era, because they never seemed to show up during the other eras. Now, that does not mean all the Sulaban were bad guys. Far from it. It was just this cable that had been genetically manipulated to have certain traits. These guys, by all accounts, are not those type of Sulaban. These are the average, everyday Sulaban who just happen to be out there. I'm afraid that's been long enough that I can't remember a thing about their general culture. I don't even know if it was ever really expounded upon in the Enterprise series. I'm sure that if I looked up the Memory Alpha wiki, I could probably find out all I wanted to know about them. I don't think they're going to be a problem for that long, however. That would be a thought. I wonder if you were able to make a Sulaban alien character. I wish I thought of that at the time. Now it's too late. Well, not too late, because I can literally change the appearance of this character to virtually anything, but once I've got a species designed, I'm reluctant to change it. Okay, here we are, and here we go. Station once used by the Sulaban cable. Only a few. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a lot here. So clearly we're not looking at what you would call a...
We've arrived at the Helix, but we're not the only ship here. A tall Shi'ar warbird is approaching from the direction of the primary structure. They haven't raised shields yet, but their weapons are online. Wait, they're hailing us. Your orders?
Put it on screen.
Ship on main viewer. It's a Tavaro light warbird. Designation IRW Shardar. They could be tall Shi'ar.
Oh, let's think for a second. My ship is designated RRW. Theirs is designated... Am I designated though? Yes, I am designated RRW. Theirs is designated IRW. I'm pretty sure this doesn't mean they're friends.
To the person in command, be advised, you are in violation of Tal Shiar Security Order 63-R. Your vessel is operating in this area without authorization. Identify yourself immediately, or your actions will be considered hostile. You don't want that kind of trouble.
You and what army?
The Tal Shiar has the authority to track down terrorists that threaten the Romulan Star Empire, no matter where they try to hide. And don't bother with deception. Our records indicate a warbird with your ship's designation was decommissioned years ago. We've already identified you. Stealing military property is a serious crime. Care to explain, Commander?
Well, technically, that's closer to Lieutenant, but go ahead and say that again. I like the sound of it. Oh, by the way, click. Okay. Clearly, we're not going to have a area of common ground here, so we're just going to hit them. Now, I want to point out that as I leveled, I also got a new space skill, Evasive Maneuvers, which is a handy skill to have, especially once you start getting in some of those ships that turn really, really slowly.
We plead for mercy. There are only civilians on the Helix. We don't have much more than we can scavenge from the cell ships. As we told the other Tal Shiar, there are no terrorists here. The Cabal are long gone. Take whatever scrap you need, but please stop taking our people.
Why don't you tell me more about this Helix? I thought there was only, like, nobody here anymore.
The Helix originally had hundreds of connected cell ships that could support up to 3,000 people. It and other similar stations were constructed after the destruction of our homeworld. This Helix was abandoned decades ago for unknown reasons. My people are nomadic, and so we've returned to salvage what we can. So far, we've survived by trading scrap from the station for supplies. We plead for mercy.
Yes, we're not here to rob you. You don't have to repeat yourself.
We don't have much to trade, and we don't want any trouble.
Looking for refugees.
There are a few Romulan refugees hiding within the Helix. They said they needed temporary shelter and would be leaving soon. We meant no harm. How are we to know they are wanted terrorists? Please just take them with you and go.
Paranoid much?
Your actions speak for your true goals. If you help us by repairing the Helix arm structures, then we'll help you get the refugees to your ship. But hurry. We're in jeopardy every moment you remain here.
You guys are a bunch of whiners. That said, it doesn't exactly look, shall we say, well defended. Especially if I'm being called upon to, help put it back together again. I do like the way this all starts going back into place.
Please help us.
Let's start using the fabled Romulan battle cloak. That's right, I'm invisible. Ooh. And now you can see me, and I'm going to hit them early. Oh, bad me. I got taken off guard by the fact there was two here. How careless. Now the fun thing about Romulan ships, they blow up, their singularity core kind of, well, becomes a singularity, and it kind of tugs you in their general direction if you're too close. Which is really bad, since, the next step is they explode and potentially cause damage to your ship. That sort of thing used to be a lot nastier.
One more to go. As soon as Delta is connected, we can negotiate a transfer.
Yeah, it better be more than negotiates. It seems that, I'm helping you out here, blowing up other Romulan Tal Shiar vessels.
More Tal Shiar ships are entering the area.
Let's cloak again. Preferably before they start shooting. Let's see. 3 of them this time. Let's try to be aware that they're there for a change. And bang! I was hoping to have a little bit more of a hit on that. The problem with those heavy torpedoes that they can be shot down. I don't know if that's what happened in this case or not, but considering that I didn't do anywhere near as much damage as I was hoping, make use of the fact that I can battle cloak.
Rear shields
Which
failing.
means in the middle of the fight, I can cloak. Prep up my torpedoes. Close in. Uncloak and whack. Let's use those evasive maneuvers for a fast turnaround. Oops. Too close. Rattled my shields a little bit. I think it's safe to say that it's whoever it is. Bye-bye.
Now that the arms are restored, we've located the refugees. They are being moved to a centralized location so you can get a transporter lock. We've explained the situation to them, but a representative for the group is asking to speak with you.
Sure. Is his name, surname Virinat?
Kayan informs me that we're being transported to your vessel. We realize that we can't stay on the Helix, but we have no intention of being forced into servitude. The Tal Shiar already destroyed our home. All we want is for you to leave us on an uninhabited world, or someplace we can hide and try to rebuild our lives.
Well, we're working on finding a planet, but in the meantime...
We've heard of Datan. We've also heard rumors that he's plotting a revolt against the Tal Shiar. Going to him sounds more dangerous than staying here.
You know, I was kind of in agreement with that kind of thing, but then we had the other end.
I know I'm out of options. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
We're kindred spirits.
I don't know why the Tal Shiar are abducting our families, but we can't afford to lose anyone else. How about I make you a deal? You personally guarantee that my friends will be safe at Datan's fleet, and I'll work for you.
What's your profession?
I've served as a science officer on multiple civilian vessels. I can help you. I can't run anymore. If I need to fight the Tal Shiar to keep my friends safe, that's what I'll do.
You wouldn't happen to know Virinat Kev, would you? Might as well start beginning the reputation of pestering people about that now.
Virinat Kev? No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Alright, so let's get the refugees aboard.
All the refugees are aboard, but there's more trouble. A Tal Shiar battleship, the IRW Koval, has entered the system. They're hailing us, and they're asking for you by name.
My fame
Remember,
grows.
they're not here to be friends.
You are ordered to stand down. You are wanted for questioning by the Tal Shiar. Lower your shields and surrender your vessel and crew, or prepare to face the consequences.
No kidding. Hey, say hi to Hakeem for me.
Your actions speak for themselves. You'll answer for the destruction you've caused today. Remember, you were given a chance to surrender.
Blah,
I
blah,
recommend using
blah.
our cloaking device to get close enough for a sneak attack.
I like that idea. Let's use our cloaking device to get close enough for a sneak attack. Of course, that means nothing if I can't actually target my opponent. I sure hope that's not a glitch. Oh well, getting first strike is going to be iffy here, but... There we go. Now's a good way to start. Took out your port side right off the bat. And a torpedo hit on the same side is great. If I can just stay on your ports. That's right. Okay. Gotta learn to get away from these people when they start exploding. That feels like a job well done to me.
Thank you for taking the refugees. Tell them we're sorry. We simply have no way to protect them. Hopefully they'll find refuge with your fleet. Our best hope now is to cooperate with the Tal Shiar and tell them that you have taken the refugees.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Republic not exactly big enough to, offer protection at this point in time, so...
We can't offer much, but I'll tell other Suliban that Detan's fleet is standing up to the Tal Shiar. I'm also sending you the contact for a friendly local trader in case you need salvage or have goods to sell. But please, keep our involvement discreet. And please go. Leave now before more Tal Shiar arrive.
Cayenne closed the channel. He's right. They'll be lucky if the Tal Shiar let them live.
Oh, that's depressing.
We should leave and report back to Tamer. Some of the refugees we brought aboard may have starship experience. If we're expecting more trouble, we'll need some help on the bridge.
Ain't that the truth? I mean, not that you're a barrel, not that you're not a barrel of fun, Tobin, but come on, you just shoot stuff. Alright, let's say hello to Tamer again and let him know that we got...
Give the refugees a good home here. They'll be safe, and we'll do all we can to help them. This is just the start. We won't stop until we're on a new world, one of our own.
Alrighty, let's collect our reward. So we're going to rename Satra so that Satra is just not the same generic character, but actually a character of her own. Oh, you know what? I actually like that one that came up here. No. There's something amusing about that. Science officer will tell you no. I amuse myself in such petty ways sometimes. We're going to modify the rustic-looking uniform to our Flotilla Romulan 2 and apply that. And we'll give her a distinct head appearance here. Not too much I can do. These have line stuff here for facial features, not just hair. I wonder if that's a problem for just the pre-done characters that join you, or are those trill spots? I know I can't be looking at trill spots. Okay, now you've got me paying attention. Where the heck did you get trill spots? Or whatever those are. I'm not sure I've ever noticed that on a character before. None of those are involved with, those are just scales, so... Huh. You learn something new every day. No, it's not complexion. Didn't think it was makeup. Ears are pointed. Weirdo 6. Oh, that must be related to the... Oh! Oh, that's interesting. I could do some Borg-like stuff on her. Don't plan to, but I find it amusing. You learn something new every day. Okay then. Welcome aboard. No. No. I am so easily amused. New orders, but before I take those new orders, let's grab some new skills. We're going to start spreading things around here. I'm being shot at a lot, so we're going to increase my field capacity. So I'm going to bump up my science a bit. You'll note that I got nothing for ground on that. Ground points come slower than space points. That said, there are a whole lot more space skills. And that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about how the ground game and the space game differ. I have a number of these traits that are defaulted, and I don't really feel compelled to change them at this point in time. Except maybe... Do I really need to be covert? I also have cold-blooded. Okay, except aggressive. Yeah, you know what? I don't want aggressive. In the cute senses. Since I'm an alien, I can pretty much choose a lot of stuff here. I'm going to go with... Let's plan ahead for getting kits that allow me to fabricate stuff. Anything that allows them to, you know, heal themselves. And... Ooh. Let's get interesting. I'm going to make this species telekinetic. That'll be neat. For space, accuracy is always good. Astrophysics. I'm not so sure I'm thrilled with the astrophysics. We're going to get rid of that. Efficient captain. Oh yeah. I'll go with that. That's always good. Elusive. I'm okay with that too. So what else would be handy for engineering character? Operative is a possibility. Thrill Seeker. Increased speed. More warp core potential. But no, I think Thrill Seeker is going to be more interesting. We'll go with that. Space Reputation, there are no reputations available because low-level character, so none of those really apply. Okay. I'm going to take another moment to officially put No and Coven on my away team. At least for now. This may change as we go along in this game. Because you'll note that Tovel, while Toven is a purple officer, which means, you know, very rare, No is just a green officer, which is uncommon. And somewhere along the line, I'm gray, so, you know, I suck. Okay, that's not really the way it's supposed to be, but...
Many Freemen settled on Craterus after the fallout from Shinzan's rebellion. While they were safe from the destruction of Romulus and Remus, Craterus is a bleak world, with little in the way of habitable land. There are ample mineral deposits, which the Remans mine and sell for food and other necessities, but their lives there are harsh and unforgiving. Anyone who could survive on Craterus for as long as the Remans have, has strength. We could use that strength in our search for a homeworld, and I know the Remans have no love for the Tal Shiar. Go to Craterus, talk to the Remans, show them we are sincere and that we need their support.
It's a long shot, but it's worth trying. Now, just in case you were wondering, we are officially in the first story arc for the, or more accurately, the non-tutorial arc for the Romulan people. And we have a number of episodes still ahead of us, so we got good times ahead. Rewards, our standard pair, plus an engineering console, which is good for damage resistance. That's always a good thing. Better impulse engines. A Varil. What's a Varil? You'll find out. And more dilithium ore.
Greetings. I have new orders for you.
You just gave me orders. Stop harassing me. Oh, we're done with this window. So, off to... I read it and I want to say Craterus, but it's Craterus or something like that. It's a star system like any other. Where is our star system? Oh, it is a sector and a half away. It's practically right next to the flotilla. Thanks, guys, for being able to nail that down so easily. Now I'm going to take a moment to hop over to the assets. When you get dilithium ore, it comes as just raw ore, and you can't actually do anything with it. But you can refine the ore, which is basically a straight transaction, up to 8,000 units. You can get more if you do something somewhere, but I can't remember the last time I've had 8,000 ore in a day. It's possible. I mean, people do it all the time. I just don't. But once it's refined, you can do multiple things. You can either put it on the exchange and hope you get some Zen off of it, but the exchange rate right now is really horrible. I mean, if I wanted to buy Zen, 1 Zen would cost me 424 dilithium. So this would get me a whopping 2 Zen. Ooh. I would need a lot more dilithium to get any real amount of Zen. And I usually don't even bother. I used to do it back in the day, but the Zen prices were a lot more reasonably balanced back then. Alternatively, you can go to the store and you can purchase stuff, some of which are free, like lockboxes. Yay. Batteries. And these are more advanced batteries, the ones that you get from drops in the game. Booster stuff. Combat pets. I see the word "a lot" showing up an awful lot here. Oh, these nano energy stuff. This stuff would actually work for with Jemadar. I don't even know why I never bothered with that with my Jemadar. Chronoton grenade. Okay. You know, neat stuff. EVA suits, which are largely irrelevant to me because when the time comes, I'll be able to get a bunch of free ones thanks to my veteran rewards. And stuff I can reclaim. I can get these really super hyper impulse engines, but they're not really that necessary. They're not that impressive. I can also get this experimental weapon, except it only goes in experimental weapon slots on the ship, and dare I say it, I have no experimental slots on this ship. But some ships do, and that would be what you would do for it. Let's see, we've got other inventory stuff here. We've got the marks here, which aren't really relevant until I'm higher level. Fleet assets, which are useless if you're not in a fleet. Gold pressed latinum. Latinum's useful for certain cosmetic stuff. And salvage, which can reroll modifiers using a re-engineering thing. I've never actually made use of that. That's a relatively recent thing. And by relatively recent, I mean probably within the last year or two, maybe. That shows you how often I've done that kind of thing. And that would also be related to upgrading equipment, which would also cost dilithium and require you to use stuff. None of which I have, and none of which I have an interest in doing an upgrade for. But the time may come. We'll point that out later. In the meantime, crossroads at Craterus.
The Tal Shiar are approaching Craterus, and they've already engaged a group of Riemann vessels in orbit. The Riemanns are sending out a general distress call. We have to help them.
On screen. Okay, that one looks a little tougher than the usual ones I've dealt with. See if you can clean that up a bit.
The Decimus is too heavily damaged. They can't respond to our hails. They won't last much longer if we don't help them.
Alright then. Let's go and do some damage. I see that No is going to give me hazard emitters, which will be handy for repairing ship damage. And for putting out those inconvenient plasma fires when I tend to be too close to my opponent. Hurt. Didn't hurt fast enough though.
We'll follow your attack vector and provide support fire.
Alright. I got a new skill here, rotate shield frequency. It's basically makes my shield tougher, gives it a little bit of heal over time. If I'm accidentally kicked off, there's my Sulaban freighter thing. Oh, that was embarrassing. Let's cloak again. Full impulse our way up. And say hello to my little friends. Close in, close in, close in. Let the power rise. And open fire. Let's see if I can. Yeah! One torpedo shot. And that battle went well. One more group of bad guys. These guys, one of those Mogai heavy warbirds that we took out a little while ago. Cloak. Impulse. Slow down and close in. That's right. Come a little closer. Little closer. Now. Ooh, that's a lot of torpedoes. Of course, that's also a pretty well built ship.
Our help. They're losing structural integrity.
Roy, why did we not deal with that earlier?
Thank you for your assistance. We're continuing emergency repairs, but most of our major systems are offline. The Tal Shiar sent detachments to the surface, and our colony is not responding to hails. With our transporters down and shuttle bay damaged, I cannot send a security team to investigate. The Tal Shiar have never been so bold.
Yeah, they've been kind of upgrading lately.
How can you be so certain? It doesn't make sense. They've left us alone for years. What would they gain by destroying our home? We keep to ourselves and we do not challenge the Tal Shiar.
That's awesome. That's exactly what we said back on Virinat.
With all due respect, we've seen this before. The Tal Shiar destroyed our colony on Virinat without warning. If we don't get your people off Craterus immediately, they'll be defenseless when the invasion force arrives.
Invasion force? We aren't in any position to begin an evacuation. The head of our fleet, Obisek, and most of our ships are on maneuvers out of the system. They can't possibly return in time. Until we re-establish communication with the colony, our priority must be to protect the people on the surface.
You guys have a serious problem.
Find Zden. He will help you. He resides near the communication tower on the outskirts of the colony. If we re-establish communication, then we can formulate a plan.
I am all for plans. Let's beam down.
Zden is to the northwest, near a force field. If planetary communications are disabled, you'll need his help to bring the transmitter back online. We'll do our best to keep more Tal Shiar from beaming down, but I can't promise we'll be able to stop them.
Isn't that cheery? Alright, assume we're going to run into problems. Ooh, yeah, those guys are familiar. Let's get rid of them early.
What are those things? They
oh,
don't
good.
look
We have things that are
Romulan to
hiding
me.
under the geometry. That's the kind of thing I love. Ooh, Tal Shiar. Let's put some holes in them. I don't want to be here. Heh, I love it when I can get those rolls in time right. Keep rocking and rolling. There's a couple more up there. Ooh, and one of them even dropped something. Something that's not a lockbox. Get closer to that shield. Oh look, more bad guys. And apparently, oh, that's the den all the way over there. Try not to shoot him. Hi, the den. You weren't trying to make any alliances with those guys or anything, were you? I'd feel really embarrassed.
Thank you, stranger. I don't understand why this is happening. You're obviously not with the Tal Shiar. Why are you here? What do you want? Commander Kai, good. Follow me and then explain what's going on. We should get inside the security field before more Tal Shiar arrive. Follow me.
I'm going to assume that whatever he did was what's allowing me to pass through that shield, because otherwise it's a really useless shield.
We need to know more. It's clear that our colony is under attack, but why are the Tal Shiar doing this? Why attack Craterus? What are they after?
It's less that they want Craterus, it's more that they want the population.
There's no reason for the Tal Shiar to attack Craterus. We've been an established colony for over 23 years. We were given permission to settle here by Donatra. Why would the Tal Shiar attack a colony of their own people?
You know, for some reason they didn't bother
to tell us. So the rumors are true. I told you, Father. The Tal Shiar have declared war on our people. They're going to kill us.
It doesn't make any sense. We aren't a threat to the Tal Shiar. What do they have to gain? They can't do this without anyone noticing.
Newsflash.
Evacuate. We must inform the council. Who is going to listen to my order to evacuate? Obasek isn't here. He left Kai in charge. Why doesn't he give the order to evacuate?
He would, but he's kind of busy.
That explains a lot. When we couldn't reach anyone, Slamek said he was going to check on the transmitter. He hasn't come back yet. We should find him and see if we can get communications back online.
Without the transmitter, we'll have to start contacting colonists individually. The word will spread, but it will take some time. Obviously, something is going on, but I'm not the one to order an evacuation. The fleet or the council should make that determination.
Well, I hope you are really persuasive, because, you know, TikTok.
You'll need help. If you're going out to the transmitter, I'm going with you. Maybe we can find Slamek there.
Farrell, you should stay here. Let these people handle this. We don't know the whole story yet. We need more information. We need to know what the Tal Shiar want. At least stay behind the security field until we hear from the council.
TikTok, TikTok.
Father, you can see what the Tal Shiar have done. These people need my help to get the transmitter working again. We'll take some weapons and armor before we leave. Don't worry, I can handle myself.
Alright, so where do you hide that gear you're talking about? Right there. Awesome.
Press the U key to view your status or the status of your ship and bridge officers.
Sure, why don't we do that? I'm pretty happy with my weaponry, but we can certainly upgrade the weapons for Tovin and No. Okay. Oh, I'm never going to get tired of that. Oh, how silly of me. I neglected to do some, oh, haha, putting that in the kit slot. That was real smart. And I never bothered increasing the torpedoes. think that I would remember these things when I get rewarded them, but that would make sense. Why would I do something that makes sense? I mean, really. I have armor, but they do not. But they do now. And finally, we're going to feed these guys to the replicator. Which, again, isn't going to give me anything because they're default equipment. Tobin is going to get my shield charge. So, because in my experience, the folks who are tactical officers are the ones who tend to die fastest. So we might as well give them an item that'll help them survive a little bit better. That said, it's not a hard and fast rule. I mean, I remember the Jemadar wouldn't take the white, so... Okay, transmitter. Where are we going? Naturally. All the way back. Let's shoot them behind the security field. Power cell. Jambalaya. Why do Romulans have jambalaya? Let's go around the long way on this one. I want to try something. Usually I can't do this mission without accidentally blowing up the ship, and I kind of wonder what would happen if I managed to get through without blowing one of them up. Now I also see that there is a scannable anomaly over there, and I want to take advantage of getting that now, because that sort of thing is what's useful in crafting, and it's good to build up an inventory in case I want to do anything with it. And theoretically, if I do this game, I will get more out of it. I don't know that it actually works that way. Sometimes I've not seen much of a difference. Okay, Slamek, communications transmitter. Okay, I guess I was expected. Oops. Oh, that must be Slamek.
Slamek, you're alive.
Never examine his controls. Yeah, that's a problem. Damage beyond repair? That's a big problem.
Viral, you found me before those things did. I tried to repair the transmitter.
I just love the little staple scar on his forehead.
Completely destroyed. But it looks like you found some new friends.
Did you know a Dr. Frankenstein? Because, you know, he looked like his work.
Didn't you hear me? The controls are destroyed. The transmitter is worthless.
Okay, Slamek. Little defeatist there. It means we can't use...
You're not helping. What if we set up a bypass relay? If it works, we might be able to control the transmitter dish from Zedet's shuttle, or even our secondary console at home.
Oh, I've got this handy tricorder.
It's possible, but I don't think it would work.
Not helping.
Slamek! Try to set up a bypass relay for the controls. If you can get it working, then we'll head back to my father and see if we can access the transmitter from there.
Alright. We'll do our thing and you do your thing, and hopefully everybody will be alive at the end of it. Oh, I have another ability down here. Reroute power to shields. I can heal my shields, and yeah, just my shields. I can't do anything with anybody else's. But also has a chance of causing an expose to my targets. Oops. And the whole expose and exploit mechanic has been in the game since day one. Where you can get an expose on a target and use a weapon that can exploit, it'll do lots of damage, potentially even vaporizing the suckers. Slamek, I couldn't help but notice, couldn't help but notice that things don't seem to be working.
It probably wouldn't work.
Nobody likes I told you so's. That's not a good sign.
We should go back to my father and see if he's heard any news.
Look up! We gotta get out of here now!
Oh yeah, that is so not good.
What kind of ship is that?
I always like this particular scene, having that thing coming up like that.
We don't know. It attacked our colony on Virinat.
Oh, there's the other item.
And now they're attacking here. We need to warn other colonies.
I wonder how big that is in comparison with, you know, some of the standard starships.
Believe it or not, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, now they're bombarding. Now you think I should be getting back to the field, but I see the other scannable over there, and I just can't bring myself to leave without grabbing it. The colonists can wait. They're still probably voting as to whether or not they should evacuate or not. I accept that I'm. Dang it, you idiots! We're all the way over here. How could you be having trouble with the shuttles? You people are idiots. Oh, okay, I can at least accept now that there was nothing that I could do about keeping that thing intact. I was doomed either way. Ooh, a new pistol. I'm gonna take a second to change out the guns there. I'm using this piddling Mark I pistol, and I can use a different piddling Mark I pistol. Well, I've already got an exploit attack thing. Yeah, I guess I can probably do a demo of that somewhere along the line. Hey, you know what? We're just going to hold on to those. It's possible I may be getting some crew soon who might need it.
Were you able to repair the primary transmitter? I set up a portable transmitter relay and gathered as many neighbors as I could. I'm glad you found Slamek.
Yeah, about that.
I'm not going to argue. Our security field is down and the Tal Shiar are attacking the colony. Hopefully everyone who hasn't already heard the message will realize what's happening and evacuate. There are more people on the outskirts of town. If I can get to them in the shuttle, I may be able to get them to safety. Understood. Please take Varel with you. I'll take Slamek with me to help scan for survivors.
Father, I should go with you. It took me weeks to repair the shuttle's drive system. If something goes wrong, you'll need me there.
Got a point.
You'll be safer on their ship. Slamek can help me if we run into trouble. I'll broadcast the coordinates to every shuttle within
I don't know if I would count on Slamek, given how that transmitter got repaired. You guys beam up, and we are going to go to the shuttle. Luckily, the one that blew up is not the one that's closest. And that is pretty new, actually. Let's fight these guys here. I'd rather do that instead of, you know, have trouble around the shuttle. Get on board, guys. Oh, these are bad guys. Oops. Sorry, for some crazy minute reason I thought you guys were colonists. That'll teach me. Still another shield. That shield could be useful.
We can live without fear.
Yeah, give me a second there before we go further. Tovin! You need protection more than No does. Romulans are safely on board. Sorry, Remans are safely on board. Why don't we do the same, then?
The Decimus has engaged the Tal Shiar and is forming a wedge so we can get the shuttles to the beacon. The shuttles will be relying on us for protection. Without our help, they'll never make it out of here. Zden's shuttle was one of the ones that made it to the ship. He's hailing us.
We're in position and ready to make a run for the beacon. Is my daughter safe?
So far.
I'm making myself useful. The singularity core on this ship is practically an antique.
There's a good reason for that.
Keeping an eye on the power levels to make
It
sure
is
we
an
don't
antique.
blow apart in combat. Don't forget to put all the shuttle's power into the shields.
Don't worry, my child. It was the first thing Slamak did. When we reach the beacon, we'll await the signal to warp to the rendezvous point. Once we're all safe, you can transfer back to the shuttle.
Off to the beacon. Of course, there are some minor technical difficulties in our way. We're just going to wade into the hips. Forget the cloaking device. We're just going to go for a raw pain. To borrow a phrase, we're going to build some hurting bombs. Points to whoever gets that reference. It's times like this I'm really missing the fire and will ability. That said, fire and will really needs to have, more weapons. One beam array and one turret just doesn't cut it for fire at will. So far they've done little damage. Oh, forgot about that. I should try to pay more attention to this for when I have the high yield torpedoes at me. Alright. Bad guys all beat. Off to the beacon, everybody. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's a bad sign. Mysterious ship. I'm gonna take a wild guess, but I bet they're not friendly.
Our ships will be completely outmatched. Are you able to scan the vessel or determine its armaments?
We've kind of run into a friend of
They're
his.
emitting some sort of passive scanning field. We cannot get a weapons lock, and our singularity core power levels are fluctuating.
I'm noticing the same power level variations. The field is definitely emanating from the enemy vessel. If I tap into the beacon's controls, I may be able to send a high-frequency proton burst that should disrupt the field long enough to get a weapons lock.
Well, to borrow a phrase, make it so. Hi, guess what time it is? Oh, dang, teleports. Well, okay, technically it's probably a warp jump or something like that, but the effect is the same. Up. Then it's imported. That's not a good sign. And around. And let's pop up. Oh, God, is that another one of those things? Yes, looks like he's got reinforcements. Well, that's really annoying. has a couple friends that need to be dealt with. Okay, I guess that's it. Hills it in. I was afraid of that. It's fine.
I've scanned the shuttles, sir. They've taken everyone. Everyone. Even my...
Logs show that a cruiser warped in during the fight with the battleship, stayed at long range, and then decloaked briefly. They warped away less than a minute later. Ugh, they must have taken the colonists from the shuttles while we were in combat.
We have to go after them. We need to track their trajectory and follow them. They could still be alive, and we can catch up if we hurry.
Nothing. There was too much interference from the battleship. I wish I had better news, but we have more pressing matters. The Decimus is hailing us, and we need to get out of this system while we still can.
Yeah, that's...
We're aware of the situation, but we have set a course for the rendezvous point immediately. There are other Remans there who will need our protection. After we regroup, we will have time to fully understand what has happened here, and to mourn our losses.
Join us, we have cookies.
We appreciate the offer, but that isn't my call to make. I'll relay your offer to Obisek and the rest of the fleet. But for now, I think it will be best if we go our separate ways. When we understand more about what the Tal Shiar are after, perhaps that will change. Thank you for your help. I know you tried your best.
Best of luck.
I don't need anyone's permission. I'm coming with you, and we're going to find my father. In the meantime, if you expect to keep a ship this old from blowing apart at the seams, you're going to need an engineer. Good thing I'm here.
Man, hits keep coming.
I think we've done everything we can here. We should report what happened to Tamer. We can leave whenever you're ready.
Out we go. Saved some, lost a bunch of others. Pretty typical for these attacks. So let's say hello to Tamer.
We will reach out to the Remans, but it will be difficult to get over centuries of mistrust and abuse. Perhaps if this Obisek is willing to speak to us directly, it might make a difference. I know you did your best to help them, and that the attack could not have been anticipated. I'm very concerned about this sabotage you reported, however, and that the culprit was never found. The Remans may very well have a Tal Shiar operative in their midst. We will not win every battle, but we will win the war. Count on that.
Gotta love his optimism.
Jolan true.
Okay. There's all those rewards we're getting.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
As with our previous new bridge officer, we are going to rename, so you're not the same old. Anal. Well, no, that sound. When I say it out loud, I decide no way in hell. Shayla. Okay, we can go with Shayla. Uniform. Same thing. You don't do colonist stuff here. You're a part of the Republic Navy now, darn it, and that means you get to look the part. But you have absolutely no ability to change head or hair. Of course, I don't think there are any hair options for Remans. However, I will take the extra precaution. Since Remans are known to be sensitive to light, let's give you some shades. And we are coming up on 10 o'clock Eastern hour, so we are going to be bringing things to an end.
There is a space station in the Gasco system that we think...
Ahem. Bringing things to an end. First, though, we are going to purchase our new skill. And we are going to go with... Oh, I now have a shield ability. I'm going to go with hull healing first. I have enough shield bonuses between my rotate shield frequency and my new emergency power to shields that keeping my shields intact will probably be easier than not. Stations. Shayla is already in position, so I'm just going to include her on my officer list. Now, once you choose away team members, you can never have a generic bridge officer come down ever again. But that's okay because generic bridge officers suck. Subtle, aren't I? And I think that is pretty much... Oh, right, we wanted to, before I do anything else, let's also take care of our physical rewards. Weaponry is nothing fancy here. I'm going to give Tobin the power cell, which helps his weapon damage. I see he uses some shield items, so, you know, he at least did that right. Shayla gets something to eat, and Noah gets something to eat. It's probably best not to read the descriptions, but I'm going to... Oh, Haggis seems more frightening than I thought. Our engines are better. We have cannons, but they're phaser cannons, and I hate to break up a theme, particularly in light of the fact that they're the only phaser-like weapons I have. And, oh right, we have new weapons. Do we have any of these better for Shayla? Yes, we're going to replace your pistol with the marked pistol and send that to the replicator, which will have nothing attached. Finally, we will slap the shield batteries in. The auxiliary battery will have to wait until I get to a ship that has more devices available. Presuming I do get into one with more devices available. Alright, and that is it for this evening. That was our exciting adventure, escaping from Virinat, joining up with the Romulan Republic, and rescuing some refugees, and trying to save, but having not as much success in rescuing a bunch of Remans from their colony. The adventure continues next week at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We will continue the adventures of Tel and discover more about the mystery of the Tal Shiar and the Alachi. With that, that will be it for the night. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.